There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
There are these kids out there somewhere. Whittier calls them the Four.
Why is it always 6 minutes?
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the latest episode of 6 Minutes Season 4, piece by piece. Well, hello, Review Pop listeners. It's your Landon Mueller. Today, we're breaking down episode 42 of 6 Minutes Season 4. I just wanted to let you all know a bit about Camp GZM, which is a new audio fiction summer camp that GZM is hosting, and it's basically a way for, avid listeners like myself to listen to GZM classics. And so, the first activity is to just make a s'more and send it to jessica@gzmshows.com. But without further ado, let's get straight into this episode.
You have to agree to help us bring our family back from 1989.
Yes, of course!
And give WhittierCorp back to us.
Of course, Jude doesn't want to die over his company. He might still have some tricks up his sleeve, but Holiday and Birdie are the ones in control, right? They have that power of WhittierCorp. And I think that'll be really interesting to see. Birdie will once again have to face the public. I'm wondering what that will look like, right? She's gonna get questions about her parents being fugitives. And, I'd imagine employees aren't, satisfied with Birdie coming back, especially without Monica being the CEO. Also, I guess I'm wondering how will Holiday and Birdie protect Jude from Adam? In the last episode, I talked about how Adam won't be too thrilled with Holiday for saving Jude.
Here, give me your hand.
Oh, thank you! Thank you!
Pleasure doing business with you.
Working with Jude is a huge red flag. I'm surprised she's not more cautious after what he did to her and her family at the end of Season 3, right? And, I'm hoping that Birdie doesn't give Jude access to Holiday Corp facilities. Because he knows the place through and through, I'm sure he has, hidden resources or hidden tools that could potentially lead to, just huge negative consequences and give him the upper hand. We discussed in the last episode of Jude, trying to get to Brinley. I guess I'm wondering if Birdie will find out about that, and I'm guessing no, like how will she? And that'd probably change her views of trusting Jude in a really, really big way. I also think the sound design was great.
Once you get the ability to open a portal, I'm going to get Angel out of here and destroy the serum. And all of the research.
Sounds simple.
I think Cyrus has a sense of the risks involved. Earlier in the season, he was talking to Angel about his sister and how saving Adelaide might impact Holiday in a very serious way. Monica might just be thinking about herself in the situation, not how it could affect everyone else. I think getting rid of Jenna's serum might change the course of Casey's and all the other Whit kids' lives. Like, what if Casey never meets Cyrus? Holiday and Cyrus would never break into WhittierCorp, and, Holiday might never learn the truth about who she is. Like Jess, I think Cyrus might go behind Monica's back to preserve the future that we know of.
Somebody order mutant blood?
Angel, you made it.
Thanks for agreeing to this.
Thank you both for trusting me, especially given our history.
From what I've gathered, Penn and Casey might open a portal to get to the past, and Cyrus is working to get to the future. What if, by some miracle, they end up switching places? They haven't been using the time phone much, and, they might want to so that they don't both switch timelines. I have a prediction about Monica's plan to destroy the Gen A serum research. On an early episode of GZM Rewind, David Kresman said that when characters lay out a plan, it usually doesn't go accordingly, and I think that's what we'll see here.
She's not ditzy. She's actually super brainy, for your information.
Brainy, right. She's quite bright, Joe.
I love hearing Kady stand up for Brinley, even if she's only doing it to start an argument with Joe. So much has happened between these two characters in Season 4. They performed Simon Andre's hit single, they sang together at a karaoke bar, and really they've always been there for each other. And I guess I'm wondering, is this a sign of what Kady and Joe's relationship looked like at the start? This goes later on into the episode, but older Joe said that their relationship was like oil and fire, and that's kind of what we're seeing, and we'll touch on that a bit more later. I also love how the scene is bringing me back to Season 1. All in all, this scene just made me really happy.
He is so annoying.
Yeah, but, I mean, you two...
Stop! Right there. Don't say it. Don't even think it.
Did you hear that?
It sounded like laughing.
Right, so judging from Kady's reaction, I'd imagine that she's thought about it. Because she knows so much about her life, certain experiences feel unnatural because she knows about them. Will Kady go off and do her own thing after everyone's in their correct timeline? Also, what will happen if they don't fall in love, right? What are the consequences of that? And how does that change everything? I also love Lil Bryn's entrance. It feels so much like her, and I love how the Brinley cue fits in. Because Brinley's plan didn't go accordingly, there's not much else she can do.
This tree has a lot of snow on it.
No! Shake that tree branch!
You're gonna make it!
Fall on us.
It's funny, Lil Bryn's growing on me in a sort of way, even after pulling something like this. As for the scene itself, it feels very fitting. Before, Lil Bryn sounded scared, but now, if anything, she's feeling sly, and I love that. I guess I'm wondering, will Lil Bryn run away, right? If Kady and James are down, she should be able to get out of there. And, where will Lil Bryn go, right? I think it'd be so cool if she ran into Joe and they shared a special moment, right? Even though he doesn't, necessarily know her, right? It's just that bond of father and daughter shining through.
Well, they say opposites attract, right? She always said it was fitting that I worked on the pipeline, since we were like oil and...
Water?
Fire. But it worked for us.
I feel like what Joe's saying here really reflects what's going on with young Joe and Kady. Brinley and Cyrus were opposites, and yet they learned to appreciate each other in such a great way. I'd like to think that Joe and Cadence went through a hard experience that brought them closer together, and maybe we could see the same with Joe and Kady. The one obvious thing that we're still piecing together is how or why Cadence left. Knowing the relationship between Joe and Cadence, I'd be shocked if she left for any reason that had to do with their relationship. And, I think she was forced to leave. I'm not quite sure how, but, just knowing everything that's happened, I wouldn't be surprised if, that was the reason that she had to leave.
But, she isn't our biological child.
Wait. You're saying she was adopted?
Well, look, I'd appreciate it if we could keep this between us. And I hope I'm not getting Cadence in trouble, but one day she just brought a baby home.
I wanted this clip to play out longer because it was so unbelievably shocking. It's such a huge wow moment, and it changes everything. Brinley has always trusted her dad, but how can she now after such a huge lie? I think he wanted to protect her, but I don't know if she knows that. I think this has a lot to do with why Jude is so obsessed with Brinley. He knows something that we don't. I guess we'll have to wait and find out who Brinley's biological parents are. Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.